okay, last night was the Survivor 45 finale, and I'm kind of torn on it. I do think we have a very deserving winner indeed. Just congratulations to her. She played a great game, won some immunities, had a very strong alliance, and at least based on the edit, it always seemed like she was the one in charge of it. I know I've seen a lot of comments about like, oh yeah, she's so mean, like she's just like a mean girl. I didn't see that. It didn't feel like, I am the boss, you're gonna do what I say, damn it. Like, stop trying to make fetch happen, Drew. It's not gonna happen. Like, it didn't feel like anything like that. It just seemed she knew what she wanted. She knew how to get it. But it felt like everyone in that alliance respected everybody else and everyone was close. Kind of a little bit until the end where Drew's like, I kind of need to start making my moves, and ended up backfiring on him. I think we have a very good winner. My problem is it felt like after Emily's boot at the latest, Kelly's boot at the earliest, the winner seemed all but decided. Kelly's elimination was what 1000% fractured Bello. Brando's kind of did too, because what you saw in those early episodes before the tribe swap is that Bruce was the leader of Bello, and not everyone really liked him that much. Katurah in particular. But everyone seemed to really like Kelly. Everyone seemed to really like Brando. And when Brando and Kelly said, okay, we're going to work together, we're going to be the duo of Bello, it seemed that, yeah, these two were the glue. Then Brando went in the tribe swap. Kelly went early in the merge. And there was no chance of Bello ever recovering. Bruce and Katurah just hated each other. Kendra really hated Bruce and kind of became a free agent. Jake 100% became a free agent. He was still constantly trying to do things and make moves, but just could never get the capital to do it. What I love about the Reba 4 is they made a couple moves early in the merge that I didn't like, that were absolutely fantastic to their games. They cut J Maya and then they cut Sifu. Very, very early into the merge. I mean, and by that I mean like they were the first two people. We're not merged yet. I don't care. It was the merge. What I thought at the time was, you guys are way too eager to cut two of your own people. Shifu you actively don't trust, and I get it. But J Maya has shown nothing but a willingness to work with y'all. Dee and Julie in particular. And then Julie at one point's like, I don't trust her. Like, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. Where J Maya's like, no, like, we are a trio. Like, I love working with the girls. This is going to be great. Like, this is really sad. This feels like a little Mean Girls-ish. But, I remember watching it and thinking, Reba is just giving Bello 2 free numbers. Are they just about to allow themselves to get steamrolled here? But the opposite happened. What they did was essentially say, guys, there are no tribal lines. We are perfectly willing to cut our own members because tribal lines and tight tribal alliances don't exist. And when that happened, it really seemed like Bello dropped their guard. Like, sure, tribal lines and tribal alliances don't exist. We can do whatever we want to. And the Reba 4 weaponized that. Like, no. There is a tribal alliance. There's a very close tribal alliance. But they made Bello think that there wasn't. And boy, did that work out in their favor. And I have to give them a lot of respect for that. Emily felt like she wasn't making a lot of like huge swinging for the fences moves, but she was making the moves that felt like she needed to make. Like, I want to get myself further in. I don't want to upset the apple cart too much, because if I do, I'm the target. Because she's watched previous seasons, like, when Ricard voted out Shan, he became target number 1 because he made a big move and took out a big threat. Jesse voting out Cody made him the threat of the season. I'd rather not do that, but I think I am playing a very good game, and I think she was. But it felt like this was probably the one person, maybe not that, because maybe Drew as well, that was still trying to play to win, even if she was being more low-key about it, that also seemed to have the winner equity to maybe do so. And Dee realized that. It's like, nah, I have to take care of this. And she did. But it felt like once Emily was gone, like, yeah, there's the only other person here to me seems like Drew. And Drew has Austin, but Dee also has Austin. So I don't, unless Drew can go on an immunity run, which no offense, I don't think he maybe could. I think Dee's got this in the bag, and she did. The actual finale, though, was quite a bit of fun. The final five vote was 2-1-1-1. Jake won an advantage to do, like, for the immunity challenge, and he fumbled the advantage. He fucked up the challenge twice. Austin wins, and Austin's like, cool. And then Austin takes Jake on reward to be like, look, I took Jake on reward for 2 reasons. 1, the guy almost won. I feel kind of bad for him. Like, that's genuine. 2, he can't keep his mouth shut. He's gonna tell me whatever it is that he's planning, and that's great for me. I want to know what he's planning. And Jake's like, yeah, I found an idol. I'm gonna play it on myself. And Austin goes, bet. D, he's got an idol. Let's not vote for Jake. Okay. I want to vote Katurah. I still think we should vote Julie. Yeah, but I can't write Julie's name down, and I think Katurah's a bigger threat to me. But you do you, and I'll do me. Okay, and Julie saying, I want to vote Jake. He's tried to get me out before. Fuck Jake. And Jake and Katurah are like, all right, what do you want to do? And Katurah's the one that says, we should vote out D. D did not win immunity. D is a big threat. And Jake goes, well, shit. I was going to say Julie, but fuck, you're right. D is the way bigger threat. I got an idol. I'm going to play it on myself. I'm going to save myself. We're going to vote D. And Katurah's like, okay, D, not Julie, right? Yeah. I need you to say it. Okay, like, we're voting D. Swear it on your Nana. I don't need to swear on it. Swear it on your Nana. I swear on Nana I'm going to vote D. Cool. Good. Then Jake kind of starts thinking to himself, since I showed Austin my idol, I feel like I scared them off of voting for me. I don't think they're going to vote for me anymore. I think they're going to vote for Katurah. And if I could play this on Katurah, he's kind of like starting to do the Natalie strategy of, if I can play my idol on the target, and I vote, and then get her to vote with me to vote out a huge threat, I can win this. It is a big move in front of the jury with not a lot of people left, and it's my move. Let's go. And when it's time to vote, Katurah in the voting booth. Oh, sorry, my dad. Katurah's in the voting booth, and she specifically says, I think the votes are coming on to me, so I'm going to change my vote to someone else. So Jake plays the idol on Katurah. There's a vote for her that doesn't count. There's a vote for Jake. And he goes like, yeah, I saved Katurah. I made a move. Jake. Oh, shit. That was fucking comedy gold. I love Jake. He's so fucking good. 1 vote D, 1 vote Julie. Final vote is on Julie because Katurah changed her vote. I want to go and say this up front. Any criticism I have of Katurah is simply A, as a player, not criticizing her at all as a person. And 2, it is coming from the perspective of someone who is well-fed, warm, sitting on his couch, sitting in his car, not half-starved, sitting on an island, stressed out of their fucking mind. There's a part of me that understands what she's doing. I think I'm about to get voted out because the 3 of them might be voting for me. But I don't trust Jake to vote for D, so he might vote for Julie. So that's 1 for Julie. And if I throw my vote onto Julie, that's 2. So maybe, just maybe, if someone else in that 3 has fucked up, I can force a tie, or Julie can just go home. It was a panic, I need to save myself vote. And she later is like, Jake, you need to take some accountability on this too. You didn't tell me you were voting for me. Or like, you didn't tell me you were going to give your idol to me. If you did, I 100% would have voted with you. And I'm going to be honest, I don't side with her on that one. I'm with Jake on that one. Not just from Jake's perspective of, well, I needed it to just be my move, which, like, fair, I get that. Katurah has burned him before. She burned him with the Caleb thing, and then she told D for the Drew vote, where Jake specifically told her, we need D to not be in on this because of how good she is and how well liked she is by the jury. She can't... We need moves that D doesn't have, you know? And Katurah's like, no, I totally agree with that, and then tells D. So I feel like from Jake's perspective, it's also, if I tell you that I'm gonna put my idol on you, you might then try to vote me out. And look, I was able to, like, Jake had an idol. I managed to get him to play it for me and then send him on his way. Look at how good my social game is, which, that's a really good social game move. Now, it's not like you took out a big threat, because, like, Jake made it to the end and didn't get a single vote. Like, he wasn't a huge threat. I love the dude. But it's not like, yeah, I got rid of Jake. Give me the $1 million. But that's still a badass, ballsy, impressive thing to pull off. So I get Jake not telling her, but even by Katurah's own logic, I don't feel like it makes sense. I said to vote for D. I told Jake to vote for D. If both of us do it, that's 2 votes on D. Possibly still 3 votes on me, but maybe someone fucked up. If I vote for Julie, because I don't think she ever heard from Austin. And, you know, maybe she did, and she's like, I think Austin's going to do it, and that's why. That would make more sense. But it seems based solely on her interactions with Jake, who swore on Nana. She's like, yeah, I don't actually, but, like, it just doesn't really make sense to me. It almost does, but it doesn't. And that was the chance to get rid of the winner of the season. She was there for the picking. The plan was perfect. Katurah just got cold feet. And I remember a few weeks ago saying, I don't remember if this was in the same episode, but there was an episode where Jake had said, he's like, man, I hope I get no more votes this season. And I remember, like, that's a 0 vote finalist quote. He did get 1 more vote this season because Julie wrote his name down in 5, but he is the 0 vote finalist. And Katurah, while trying to make fire with Jake, is saying, man, why can't we just vote someone out at 4? And I was like, cool, you're losing fire, and there's a non-zero chance it's to Jake. And that's exactly what ends up happening. Let's see. But as mad as I am at how the 2-1-1-1 vote split panned out, I'm really happy that we got one, because I've never seen it before. I don't think it's ever happened before. The fact, like, this is the last vote of the season, and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing, is super wild and interesting to me. And it's something I've kind of always wanted to see. But it's like, I would never see it because it's such a clusterfuck, but this season is kind of a clusterfuck. Like, I feel like my overall I know I'm going out of order, but, like, my overall thoughts on this season are, I love the characters, and I think the 90 minutes has helped that a lot. But I feel like we have a very strong cast. The 90 minutes has really helped that cast breathe. But like, the actual strategic elements, there's times where I think it's worked really well. And then there's other times where people just kind of feel like they're doing their own shit. Like, you'll be really good. Like, Bruce is a number that can help me, but I just don't like him. I'm going to get rid of him. Or Bruce saying, yeah, Caleb was on a tribe with just, like, him and a bunch of bellows, and we all really like him. But Caleb's really playing the game. And I don't want to deal with that. Which on the one hand, I kind of get it. He's like, dude, I don't trust Caleb. I want him gone. But also, here's a potential number for you. Maybe you want to keep that guy? It didn't, like, essentially, Bruce did to Caleb what the Reba 4 did to Shifu and J Maya. With the Reba 4, it worked. With Bruce, it felt like it backfired spectacularly. Because here was another person that was kind of rallying Bello together because everyone on Bello liked Caleb. But then Bruce, I love Bruce so much. There's a part of me, I'm so mad that I didn't get to see him interact with the Tika 3. Like, Bruce and Carolyn would have been comedy gold. But I'm also like, I'm really glad I got to see Bruce here because Bruce was comedy gold. That happens, and then you get to the final four where D cruises through the challenge. It's that weird, like, pot thing, and it's super easy. Jake is right on her heels, but then he ends up knocking over his shit, and he ends up breaking the challenge, which is something I've never seen before, which was just kind of the epitome of Jake's game, and it was really sad, but it was still kind of funny at the same time. After that, I mean, when Dee didn't go home at 5, I'm like, I think she's just winning the season. She's probably going to win final immunity. And then as soon as she did, I'm like, cool. Like, I'm still going to watch the rest of this, but I feel like I don't have to watch the rest of this episode to know she's going to win. For Fire, Jake's like, can I go to Fire? I need a win, dude. Please. And Katura going, I'd really not rather go to Fire. Please. And Austin, I'm super down for Fire. Katura's the bigger threat than Jake. Do you want me to take her out? I think Jake's got it. No, but he's dog shit at Fire. Like, he don't got it. But then when it's actually time for it, Jake and Katura go. Bello's going to get the last spot, and Katura can't get anything going. Jake gets a nice Fire. Jake wins. I think I've said this on previous seasons. The way the contestants talk about Fire and the way the audience talk about Fire is very different. I feel like the contestants are almost always like, Fire is this huge resume thing. It's like, I want to do it. I want to go to Fire. It's something that'll like boost how the jury views me. Whereas almost anytime I'm on like Twitter or Reddit, people who love the show and watch the show, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you got your last spot in the final four, but it doesn't feel as impressive as winning final immunity. Like, that feels like that should have a bit more precedence to it, or it's like people feel like winning Fire, it's like that should be the thing that wins you the game, but there's 25 other days of gameplay or 38 other days of gameplay. Like, come on. To me, the way I see Fire, it's just another way to get to the end of the game. You can win final immunity. You can be brought to the end either because you're the GOAT or your social game is so strong you convince someone to bring you even though they shouldn't, or you have kind of a last gasp to win a final challenge and make it in. It's Survivor. Fire is your life. You should be able to make a fire. It shouldn't be that impressive. I think, to me, the only real exception to that is if the person you beat in Fire is considered the biggest threat to win, and you take it out, like if you do the Chris Underwood, I won final immunity, but this person is a huge threat, and I want to take them out myself. I am giving up my immunity. I am going to Fire, and I'm going to win this damn game. That being said, that should not be the end-all be-all. Look at Heidi. From what I had seen in the edit, I wasn't like, man, Heidi has played a great game. I'm like, what the fuck is Heidi's game? Her giving up immunity and beating Carson, you're like, cool, that's a really good move. I respect that. I still don't think you've played as good of a game as Jam Jam or Carolyn. And poor Carolyn, I think she did play a really good game. She just wasn't able to articulate it very well in front of the jury. And Jam Jam had the fucking jury eating out of the palm of his hand. And then here you've got Jake, who beat Fire, or like he won Fire, but he beat Katura, who again, at least based on the edit, didn't seem like she was this huge threat. And the same way, like the other way around, if Katura had beaten Jake, it's not like, dude, she won Fire and she took out Jake. It's if someone had taken out D or if someone had taken out Austin, because Austin got 3 votes at the end. Like, he was a bit more of a threat than I actually realized. I thought Austin had a lot of winner equity, but then his endgame kept kind of going down and down. And then there's that point in Final Tribal where D's like, Austin, I am the one that told Julie about your plan. So I'm the one that's responsible for Emily's blind side, which was a huge move. And I didn't tell you about, like, right in front of everyone, right in front of the jury, as Austin's like, yeah, I had this great relationship with her, but I don't think it ever harmed me in the game. I love you, but it did. I was like, that just won, like, D, I think, is already winning. That won her the game for me. And then Austin still got a good handful of votes. Like, this was way closer than I thought it would be. Holy shit. But, I think Fire is... I feel like if 2 players are super even in how they're viewed, Fire can maybe be the tiebreaker between them. But I don't think it's such a big deal that it should be, oh, you won Fire, you get all the votes. And I'm glad that this jury kind of saw it that way too. And I remember saying that last season as well. As for the final 3, D, Austin, Jake. D and Austin were really going at it in Final Tribal, which I liked. It wasn't just like, we're in a showmance, it's cute. No, they were both fighting for it. But D pulled out that, yeah, I'm the one who told Julie, you didn't save Drew. I didn't tell you about Drew. It's not that I played you because our relationship was genuine, but I did outplay you. And I outwitted you, and I'm about to outlast you. And she did. 5-3-0. Caleb, when he goes up to vote, just goes, Jay. You know, because like when he voted for J Maya, when he played a shot in the dark, but I heard it as Jake. So I was like, oh, everyone's going to get a vote. Because like, I know Drew's going to vote Austin. And instead he voted D. And I was like, oh, I thought he was at least going to give a vote to Jake. That would have been dope. Which in that case, D still would have won. It would have been 4-3-1, which was such a crazy close vote. Like, I kind of really wanted to see that happen. But, yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, I think we have a very strong winner. I think this is a season with a lot of great characters. The strategy was very hit and miss all season, but I think having such a good cast can make up for that. I just wish the endgame was a bit more interesting, because it really felt, like I said, once Kelly was gone, it was, okay, cool, Bella was going to just get sent to the Shadow Realm, and they did. Once Emily was gone, it felt like there's no one who can really beat D anymore. And that's exactly what happened. So not my favorite season. I don't think it's my favorite season of the new era. Like 41, I just don't really like. 42, I like a lot. 43, I do like it. I really like it. Has probably one of my favorite players because I fucking love Jesse. 44, I just really like the Tika 3 because I feel like the rest of the season is like, I do like a lot of the other players. Like I thought Danny was a lot of fun. I loved the Matt and Franny showmance. I'm really sad that we lost Matthew when we did and how we did, because it felt like this is probably one of the better players of the season. And of course it's right before the merge. But the Tika 3 just fucking stole the show, and they made the game fun. It's like, to me, it wasn't a boring endgame. It was like, one of the Tika 3 is going to win, but I was like, I don't know who it's going to be. It seems like Carson feels like he has the most winner equity, but I don't know if he'll be the one to make it. I think Jam Jam has a good case. Carolyn was my winner pick from episode 1. I was like, yo, my winner pick might actually do this. And then she didn't get any votes, and I was heartbroken. But I still love Jam Jam, so it was all Gucci. So I don't think 45 is my favorite of the new era. I would still probably say 42. But I do think it's a good season. I enjoyed it a lot. And if you saw it, I hope you did as well.